especially when I got it running on air. Yeah. Uh-oh. Good morning, everybody. We're live.
Oh, are we? Good morning.
Yeah, we're live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another week in the Nut House.
Now, I thought this was a family-friendly show.
It is.
Oh, it's very family. It is.
Yeah, it's family friendly.
Says the man who's
Well,
using
until you.
blowtorch to his 2-year-old.
Yeah. Uh,
No,
Oh, we got
it's all
Bill
good.
in here too.
He's
Good morning, Bill.
he's watching me build brass models.
well, good morning, everybody. Steve's got his new loco here. As you can see, he's got it running. It just doesn't go anywhere.
Got it.
Kind of like
I got
me.
it running on air. That was huge. Yeah, we got. Yeah, Juan and I were talking a couple of days ago, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can get it hooked up on air and see if it moved, man, and it did. It was like watching a baby be born. It was so cool. I got the throttle linkage hooked up yesterday with the smoke box because I had to use the throttle valve in the smoke box to get it to move. And so there's a shaft that runs between the throttle valve through the boiler and connects with now the throttle handle in the cab.
No, it's good.
Sounds like a Model T. Sounds like a Model T.
Well, the next step is to get a fire into her.
Well, see, that's the good thing is if it'll run on air, it'll run on steam. So that was a huge hurdle. And John had this thing timed perfect. I mean, it just fired right up. So that was huge. So now I've got well, with the exception of the cab, I've got to install a steam injector. I have to install a whistle valve, a steam gauge, and I got to run the piping to the cylinder cocks, which is all pretty straightforward. No, nothing huge. It's complicated and running a lot of piping. And I don't want to run just copper tubing. I'd like to find something similar to what John had here. He found stainless steel tubing that he used, which was really good because these are crosshead pumps that connect with the slide, and with each stroke of each revolution of the wheel, it'll pump water from the tender into the boiler, like an axle pump, but they didn't do that on these Americans. And this one had two. It had one on each side, which is kind of weird because you've got to have a way to put water in the boiler when you're standing still. And the problem with these pumps like this, like an axle pump or a crosshead pump, is they're always pumping water into the boiler unless you close the valve in the cab. But the locomotive has to be moving to do that, and you've got to be able to put water into the boiler while it's standing still too. So I'm gonna be taking the other pump, like this one on the side here, on the other side, take that one off, and that's where the injector. I'll have the steam injector put water in on that side. But man, I was so jazzed when this thing fired up. It's like, yeah.
I'm just glad you finally got it in your hands.
Oh man, so am I. I mean, it was a month of just nerves, whether or not I was going to be able to get mine sold first to get the money, and if John's family didn't sell this before I came up with the money, because it was like first come first serve, and there were already some buyers that wanted it, but they hadn't committed to it. And when Kevin up in Skycomish contacted me about buying mine. It was less than what I really wanted to sell it for, but bird in the hand, so it's like I went ahead and sold it. Contacted the family and said, "Hey, I sold mine. I got the money. Don't sell that thing." And they didn't. They held it for me. So that was a 15-hour round trip to California to pick it up. Blew the head on my truck, blew my brakes, but I got it home. And now my
Barely got
truck.
home.
They say sacrifices were made for the things you love.
Yeah.
And so how many total cars are you going to have to build for it now? You got a fuel car, and
Yeah. Well, that was a good thing because I didn't realize it, but in all the stuff that they were selling with this, I didn't know it, but John had the materials for a pair of arch bar trucks that I don't know if he was going to build a coach or something. I don't know, because he was going to wood fire it, so he didn't need a fuel car. But that's going to be my fuel car. And my idea is to put an old 1860s style wood boxcar for the fuel car. And I've got a 4 unmachined wheels that I've had for years. I probably had for 25 years. And I was going to make an electric speeder. I was going to turn the thing. I have the motor and everything. I was going to do a little speeder for up at Train Mountain. But since I've got those 4 wheels, I'm going to build I'm going to go ahead and have those turned when I do the rest of them, and build a small bobber caboose for it. So it'll have this, an old time box car, and an old wood bobber caboose.
so are people going to be able to sit on like the fuel car?
No.
Nope.
But
So
it'll, if I what I'll do is when I go up to Train Mountain, if I pull somebody, I'll just grab one of their riding cars, and it should pull that much. I've been talking to some people that have Americans, and it's not going to have a whole lot of power, but that should be good enough to run around Train Mountain. I don't think it'll pull much more than that. I don't know. It's probably not going to like some of the steeper 3% grades, but there's some parts I'll just have to stay away from. But that was a trade I was willing to make. Downsizing to this versus the 1241 that I sold, because that thing would pull anything just about anywhere. So I'm going to be limited on what I can pull and where I can go up a Train Mountain, but it's a good trade. It's worth it.
Well, just thinking about it, Steve, the other thing you could do is with the fuel car, if you've got enough room in it, stick a battery in it and power one of the bogies.
I could do that.
Yeah, because then at least because then you can at least, it'll be like a helper, and because it's on a battery. When you're going up those steeper grades, you just flick a switch, turns the motor on, gives you a bit of assistance, and then you turn it off and just let it charge.
Yeah. Tim was thinking about doing that with his, actually. Was that do the same thing with his train? And that's a possibility, down the road. But the fuel car is gonna have to have, of course, the propane. But it would really be nice if I can also put a water tank in the fuel car too, for additional water, because the tender on this really isn't that big, and I'm guessing it might hold, man, maybe 5 to 7 gallons of water. It's not a lot.
No, you're probably talking what, half an hour to an hour worth of running time?
Oh no, probably longer than that. But I'll be hitting every water stop at Train Mountain for sure.
That'd be
so
half
it'd be
the
nice to
fun.
have a back. Well, yeah, but it'd be nice to have a backup water supply. But again, then you got more weight. So that that's going to make a really heavy fuel car. So
well, as I said, if you can
I
make
don't know.
Well, I said if you can make a powered like a powered box car or something, maybe even if you have it so you have a small propane car and then a box car behind that's water and a battery.
Actually, instead of the fuel car, actually powering the caboose would be the thing to do. Put a couple big, deep cycle batteries in the caboose, but again, there's more weight. I'd put a couple of motors on the axles of the caboose, and so instead of being a speeder, it'll be a powered caboose. It's a helper. So
there's
that's
plenty
actually,
of ways. There's plenty of ways you can increase how much that thing will pull anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Path Valley says you'd have to stop every scale 20 miles for water. Which is,
well, they've got quite a few water stops up there, so that's really not a huge problem. The top of the mountain will be the problem because the water stops, up on the top end of the railroad are a little further apart, and the grades are fairly steep. But there's plenty of track around Train Mountain that this thing will run just fine. There's areas that might have an issue.
You think he guy's gonna get a tissue?
There's Bernard's comment on it.
What?
Put a Pratt and Whitney turbine hidden in the caboose.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Push everything from the caboose.
No, but actually, no, seriously, powering the caboose would be a good option because it would basically be just an electric speeder that you're pulling.
Yeah, that's
but,
true.
But on that,
you've got the motor for it.
But the downs, yeah.
You were going to build a speeder anyway.
The downside of that is when it's not being used is the drag on the motor because you're going to be trying to lower it, so that's going to be drag on the locomotive too. So that's going to I don't know. Well,
you'd have to figure out.
I got a couple friends. Yeah, I got a couple good friends up there that have speeders similar to what I was thinking about. And I was going to pick their brain and see what they thought about making the speeder. So now I'll find out about powering a caboose. But that's down the road. I got to get this running.
You'd have to figure out some kind of clutch for it, so you can disengage the motor from the wheels.
Yeah.
Well, there's already a clutch already designed. You just get the sprocket gears off you get the sprocket axle off a bicycle. When the motor engages.
You can be able to.
Yeah.
Just means that every time you run it, you can only run in one direction.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's right.
Reverse might be an issue. Yeah. Well, I'll figure something out.
Like said, just design disconnect for it.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay.
I could sit out here and watch this thing all day long.
Bill at Fenris wants to say, was asking if you're not going to be able to ride the locomotive. But I don't think that's the issue.
Say that again.
He says, so Steve, you're not able to ride on this locomotive? He's asking
not on the locomotive, no. No, I'll ride on the little tiny tender, the little American tender, and that's the other thing is this thing ain't very big, so you're gonna spend however long you're on it squatted up with your legs on the pegs on the tender, so it's not going to be really comfortable to ride for a long period of time. So that's another trade-off. The other, my other one, the riding car, I had plenty of room, and I could slide the seat back and forth and kick back and put it in forward, lean back and go. Well, this one, you're going to be hunkered down, trying to, with your knees, your head between your knees, run and because it's got a little tiny throttle on it. It ain't very big.
Well, if you think of the prototype, Steve,
Sounds like a Model A.
Hey, Steve. If you think of the prototype when they used to run those trains, they used to run a flat car behind the tender with logging wood.
Yeah.
So, it used to be
that would look good
the 440 locomotive with tender, then a flatbed with logs, and then 3 or 4 passenger cars.
Well, I still have to have a fuel car, though.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, you'll have, instead of sitting on the tender, you'll sit on a flat car, which can double up.
Reach anything? I'd be reaching over 2 feet of tender to reach everything. It's like, They do that with the smaller scales, like 1 inch scale and 3/4 inch scale. They do ride the car behind the steamer because they're so small. Because you can't ride you can ride 1 inch scale, but that's really small. But 3/4 you can't ride. You have to actually they ride those on elevated tracks. Looks like a monorail thing, and their legs hang over the side.
Yeah, Path Valley Railroad said
What?
Path Valley said use a radio controlled throttle. That might be an answer if that's all you had to work with. If that's all you had to work was the throttle, but you have to work more than that.
Yeah, well, you got a whistle valve you got to hit. You got cylinder cocks that you've got to be able to get to. You've got to be able to get to the injector valves. So you're always doing something with these. You're always adding water, which involves a couple of valves in the cab and things. So yeah, you're always doing, and they're really small. They are really tiny. I should give you a walk around of this. Here, let me hang on a second. Let me flip this around. Whoop. Camera. Done. Okay. How about that? Whoops. Nope.
Nope. We're still seeing you.
No, you don't want to see me. There we go. How about that? You see that?
Yeah.
What's that?
I mean, it's amazing how all this stuff just works. It's all in sequence, and I can't believe this stuff all works. It's got. I don't know if you can see it, but what that is. I heard Tank Buster. Is Tim here?
Yeah. He said you're a steam engine guy now, so you'll be getting in everyone else's way.
Hey, Tim, you old scallywag. Hey, that guy's over at the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad, man. He's over there working hard.
He's over there playing on the full-size stuff.
Yeah, he is. Sounds like a Model T, Model A.
Oh, once you get a fire in the belly, it'll be a different story, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to sound really good. Yeah, John had this thing timed perfect. I mean, look at these valve covers. Took John a year to machine these.
He did some nice work.
A little peanut with. Well, that sounds good. And then, of course, and then you got the reverse gear here, which I can't do two-handed. And then it goes in back, reverse, neutral, forward.
Well, Tim says, wanting to know how much longer we're going to be streaming, because he's headed to the railroad right now to fire up his second steam locomotive at the museum. So if you're still streaming, he'll join. Tim will be going for, what is it, about another 40 minutes. So if you're wanting to get on, just holler at me when you get on there and I'll shoot you the link.
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, we could do a longer show, I guess. Yeah, I could sit out here and just watch this thing all day long.
Yeah, that is a beautiful engine.
Oh, man. Yeah,
He's still running.
And you know, once you get the cab on there, all stained to match the pilot, and he even has the paint cans of the two-part epoxy that he used to paint this, so I can get that matched and paint the tender to match it. That's my plan. It's going to get on the side of the headlight. I'm going to put the number 21, which is the same as right there, his builder's plate. It says JT Felt Locomotive Works. So I'll put the 21 on the side of that with some little, some gold leaf corners like they used to do. Get that all decorated up. Do the same thing on the tender. Put 21 on the side of the tender. And I'm going to put on the side of the cab, it's going to be the name that John T. Felt, in honor of, my friend John built this. So it'll be immortal.
Well, that cab's going to look gorgeous on there in wood.
Yeah, and I don't even have to make it up because all the plans have all the dimensions and everything for building it. So that's a good thing. I don't have to make it up. I thought I was going to have to make it up, but he sent me all the blueprints for it. So that's a good thing. But yeah, Tim's always given me a hard time about not being a steam guy. And now he's a big shot steam guy.
Well, that's sharp, that's for sure.
Either way, it's gonna that thing will last forever. It's well built, it's well decorated. It's shiny, so like as Claude said, it's basically a masterpiece.
Well, it should have been in a museum. It really should. It should be a display piece. He even powder coated the frame on it.
Yeah, it's definitely museum quality.
It's all,
but it would be a shame for it to sit in a museum and not run.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, it's a 440.
Well, hell, he turned the wheels out of stainless steel, and that is just almost unheard of.
Oh, really? Those are stainless?
If you really want to, you can just run it on special occasions only.
Yeah.
Like memorial weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, the wheels are all stainless steel, and the counterweights are brass, which is just that's nuts.
Yeah, the treads on those should wear like iron then, being stainless.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they should. Well, the equalizer arms are all stainless steel with with brass on, for the hinges.
Man,
he
did fantastic work.
Down here.
And he machined all this, right?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and he's got the water sight glass. That's all in.
How long did he work on
got to
it?
be
done. How long did it take him to get to this stage?
Honestly, I don't know. I know that he hadn't done anything on it for probably at least 10 years. I know because I'm friends with somebody that he knew over in Humboldt County that knew him when he was building this, and that was 20 some odd years ago that he lived over there when he built it. And then I think he finished some of it here, but the majority of it was built a while ago. But then he got a hold of the 22. That's the one in the beginning of my video that went to Texas. And what he did is he had two of those. One was just basically the wheels and a frame, and I think he had a steam chest on it, and then he had the same part with the 22, and he traded one of those chassis for the switcher that I got, and because he needed something to move his engine from the carbon steaming bay. So he had that. So then he went ahead and finished out the 22. He did everything else on the RE Wilburn that's in my video. And then this one, I don't think he did a lot on this one after he got the 10-wheeler. And so this was sitting in his bedroom. And first time he showed me that, my jaw dropped. It's like, holy moly!
Yeah, I can understand that.
I never would have dreamed that it would have landed in my lap. That would have been the furthest from my mind. But
it's definitely a piece of art.
Anyway, I'm gonna flip this around because
No, I was just curious how long it takes to get one from scratch to that point. But
it all depends on how much time you got to put on it. So, some people have thousands of hours in these things. It just depends on the particular locomotive, who's building it, what they have to use to build it with. It all varies. Some people, some of these engines, guys work on them for 20 years before they get them finally running.
Oh, well, sure. I've had airplanes that I've worked on for two full years, and they don't take near as long to build as something like that. So I can understand.
Some guys that build it never run it because, they die before they get them done, and then the family ends up selling them, and somebody else finishes them.
Yeah. Well, that's gorgeous.
What other questions?
Shannon, it's catching.
Oh, hi,
Shannon.
Allie. Allison.
Oops. Didn't know I muted Shannon.
Good morning, Jerry. Oh, Jerry, did you?
Steve,
did you know John while he was? No.
Yeah, I muted myself.
Jerry, I did not know John when he was actually building this. When I met John, it was just the way it is right now, sitting in his bedroom on a board. Let's see. Tim says, my friend Robert has built 4 engines. It took him 2 years to start to finish to build a 10-wheeler, working on it most every day. Yeah. That's it. How much time somebody has to devote to it.
No, sure. Yeah. Well, like I say, when I was building airplanes, it might take me, 18 months to build a big one if I put a lot of detail on it, but it also depended on how often I worked on it. Because some days I'd go in and spend 5, 6, 7 hours on it, and some days, it may go a week without getting touched. So overall time period,
I've got
the building period didn't take that long.
Yeah.
The actual
I've
time.
got a goal of getting it at least running by next June, if not finished. So I would at least like it having it running for the triennial.
Yeah. Allie likes that.
Yeah, Allie. Yeah, it is. It's a gore. Everybody likes that blue. I mean, when I posted it on Backyard Railroading and half a dozen, everybody loves this blue, and I was like, and I don't know why John painted it blue. If he told me, I don't remember. But it's like, okay, blue. It is what it. I mean, But yeah, it is. It's pretty sharp. I don't know why he painted it blue though. I wish I'd asked him, and if he told me, I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to try and find somebody that knew him.
Yeah.
When he was building it.
Well, I do.
I
do. I do. And she lived next door to John over in Scotia. John had a house, and she had a house or something that wasn't too far. There was kind of an adjacent thing. And as a matter of fact, she used to sit on the stool that this thing is sitting on right here. That stool right there was, of course, John made that stool, and the wood part is the top of it came from a biker bar in I think it was Fortuna or whatnot. John used to be a biker. And there was some bar fight in that bar, and that chair got smashed. And for some reason, he grabbed the top of the chair and took it with him. So that's what that is. And she used to sit on that while he was building this, but she doesn't remember an awful lot of it, other than that it. She said it took him over a year to make these valve covers.
Wow. Well, it is, like I say, it's definitely museum quality, but I'm glad it's not in a museum.
Mine too. I'm glad it's in here.
It'll look better running on the railroad for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna look good.
I can't wait to see it. Yeah, I can't wait to see it in person next year.
Oh, we'll get up there. I mean, if nothing else, we'll get Tim up there and we'll double head so that you can ride it, because we'll get it up there.
And just think, here I am, and I'm working on brass end scale.
Shannon's got something to show. Oh, look at here. Nice. Now, are you using resistance soldering on that?
No, sir.
There's regular soldering?
Regular soldering iron and blowtorch. Hence why you see a black front.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've gotten the technique down that, makes it really, makes it work well.
Yeah.
It's a little messy on the inside, but overall, compared to resistance soldering, I don't think there's going to be much difference in strength. So,
well, I've been working on a few things on the layout. So I'll show you what I did here just a few days ago.
Yeah,
I had to replace. I had to add a spur at the mine I was working on, and I had a number 4 in there, and I couldn't get enough clearance because it didn't have hinge points on it. I had solid points, and so I couldn't get enough clearance between the rail and the point for a loco to go through. The cars would go through, but the loco wouldn't go through it. And so I told Steve, I said, I may just try doing a stub switch. I'd never built a stub switch before.
Yeah, I was trying to think what it's called, but it looks good.
Yeah, and I haven't run an engine through it yet. I think the engine will go through it just fine. I pushed an engine through it that's actually got HO scale wheels on it, standard gauge wheels on it, and it went through it. So I think it'll run through there just fine. Not that I'll run the engine through there very much because the tracks aren't very long beyond that. Just a couple of car lengths. So
yeah, so it'll be mainly dropping off, picking up.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a lot of fun trying to figure it out how to build it. And the two rails you see on the sides of that are to hold the ties underneath, because and those of you that don't know how a stub switch works, instead of the points moving, the lead-in rails move, and so it has to move all the way back to where you see the several number of ties there. That whole section has to flex, but I had to have a way of keeping the rails down level with the rest of the switch, because if you just laid them there, of course they'd rise up above that and it'd cause you a problem. So that's what those are there for, is to keep that throw bar from rising up too much. And so the throw bar can slide back and forth and keep it the same level.
Yeah. On a side note, did you see what Container Man just said?
No, I didn't.
No, I was going to say hi, Roy. Shannon, I noticed earlier, what the heck are you going to do with that hair on your son's head? Will you be cutting it and making a wig for yourself because your hair is still a mess? We wouldn't know what to do.
I don't know why I would be making a wig for myself. Sorry. I don't think I'd be making a wig for myself. I think I'd be making a wig for Heath.
Yeah, Heath could use one. I don't want one. I like mine just like it is.
Actually, in saying that, I know my manager's lingering around in here because he sent me photos of his 5-inch gauge steamer.
There you go. Well, shoot, tell him to get up here and we'll show pictures of it.
Yeah. We still got to get some dirt on you.
I don't think we need any dirt on Shannon. We got enough on you, I think.
It looks like Allison had a question that Roy answered. 7.5-inch gauge. No, actually, it's the other way around. It's 7.5-inch gauge. Yeah, and 1.5-inch scale. You got it right. Yeah. And Jerry says I should just make up a good story for the blue. Do that.
And Roy's wanting to know, are you going to build a tender for the steam loco?
Yes, I am.
Roy, if you'd have been here on time, you'd have known that.
Yeah. Well, I got everything due to build the tender, but I got machining to do on the pieces for the truck, the arch bar truck. The wheels have been turned. One axle's been turned. I've got to turn 3 axles and machine some of the parts for the friction bearings. This isn't going to have roller bearings. Little engines designed friction bearings for these for some strange reason. So, but I've got a good friend that is a machinist that John knew, Russ, and he's still a machinist out at Erickson Aircranes. And so he's all in for doing the machining. It's just a matter of getting the time to do it, because he works 60, 70 hours a week. But no, he can do all the machining. So and he's all in for helping finish this. The problem with a tender is I thought it had to be welded, but I was looking at the drawings and they're all rivets. And he's got 100 million rivets, and I'm not looking forward to riveting that thing, but that's going to be time consuming to do. Tim says he's got a brass American tank that may work for this. I don't know. He's going to find it when he gets back home, shoot me a picture of it, and see what we can come up with, if that might work. But yeah, I've got everything to build the tender. It's just the time to do it. I've got everything to build it except for a few items. I've got, like I said, I got to get a pressure gauge. I've got to do the piping. I got some valves I got to get. There's not a lot that I've got to purchase to do it. I've got the brass. It's got 2 big brass running boards, 1/4-inch plate brass that he machined. The running boards, the top is machined like wood planks. I don't know how he did that. But the problem is they bowed when he machined them. And so I've got them at a fabrication shop right now, and they're going to try to straighten those out, stick them through some rollers or something to get them straightened out.
Oh, Allie says, oh, how about a competition to name her?
I just reckon name her the Frog because of all the rivets.
Yeah, there's a lot of rivets. Actually, I'm trying to find, and if anybody knows, I want, if I can find pop rivets that if I can get something that the finished end is round and looks like a rivet, but it's a pop rivet, I'm going to do something like that because that would be a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I would think. Because I would think
because I was looking
trying to rivet something that small would be tough to do.
Well,
easy. You just use a normal pop rivet and you silver solder the heads.
Well, silver soldering, yeah, there's probably going to be several hundred heads for sure. But I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was going to say. Allie said I should call it Bluebell. Yeah. The rivet. No, I was looking on YouTube about doing small rivets, and it's actually a little rivet hammer. It's an air hammer, like a cordless drill, but and then there's a backing bar that you stick on the backside, and you rivet it just like that. But the rivet hammer is like $200, so that would eat into my budget. So if I could do it with pop rivets, it'd be a lot cheaper.
Steve Bernard says check out Aircraft Spruce Supply, and I'm assuming that's for the rivets. Bernard, I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of familiar with Aircraft Spruce because I would get some butyrate and stuff for doing covering on the airplanes from them. So I've ordered from them before, but I haven't checked out all their stuff. But they do a lot of full-size airplane supply stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they get all kinds of fasteners and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, he's saying,
I think the
rivets.
Well, let me go get a rivet. They're really small. Hang on a second. I'm right back.
Yeah, pop rivet would be a whole lot easier to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm going by the compressor now.
Yeah, he's got the compressor outside that's actually running the engine right now.
Yeah. I'm back. That's Tuesday. No, stay here. No, you're not going out. Oh, God, these trucks are. I'm going to show you what's left on the truck, the tender trucks. Okay. These are all the all the rivets that he's got. And they are.
Hang on here, I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Very big. You can see those. I mean, they are tiny, but they're little round heads.
You'll be fine. We'll see you in about 2 years.
Well, yeah, we'll figure that out. But these are the sides for the trucks. Got those and all the little bearing blocks for the sides. They go like that. So I got to build all these things. And this is the one axle that's machined. So I got to machine 3 like that. And the wheels will fit on, like that. And then you have to press them on. You get a press, and they got a press out at Train Mountain. You put it in the press, and it just pushes it right on. You heat the wheel up so it expands. Press it on the axle, and then once it cools, it doesn't come off. Oh my goodness! Hey Gussie, you want to say good morning?
Yeah, Roy. Here's your answer, Roy.
You fat hog.
He is dog sitting still. There's Gus.
He's like, what is that? Yeah, there's Gus. He's my Saturday. He has to, because that way Mama can sleep and doesn't. I can come out here and not worry about him waking her up. I'll have to train him to ride the train. What do you think, Gussie? Huh? What do you think? Huh? What do you think? Huh? This guy's a little butthole. It's a good thing he's cute because he's a butt.
Oh, let's see if anybody else has any more questions besides the dog sitting.
He's like, I want down. But
Bernard says he's got a battery-powered pop rivet gun, so it's much faster.
Oh, that'd be good.
I'm thinking, yeah, you find a pop rivet that would look good on it, and then if you have to, just seal the inside of the tank for the water.
Yeah, that would have to be done regardless. Yeah.
No, that'd be the.
Well, I'll just say
so,
of the bolts to make it look like rivets, like proper rivets.
Well, then I would have to learn how to silver solder, and I don't want to do that.
It's called a blowtorch, flux,
I'm lazy.
and silver solder. Cool, can teach you.
Yeah, but a pop rivet is boom and done.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You pop the rivet in.
I like the idea of pop rivet.
Flux the top of it, and you silver solder it so it looks like a proper old school rivet.
Yeah.
It's just for the cosmetics.
Shannon, I think you're confusing John, the guy that built what you see there, and Steve.
Yeah. I don't
think Steve's that particular.
No. If I can do a pop rivet that looks like a regular rivet on the outside, I'm cool.
I'm right there with you. I'd do the same thing.
I'm lazy.
I can really appreciate the time it took him to build that. But there again, he didn't get finished with it, because it takes so long to build. When you do it that final work, it takes a while to get it there.
I wish I'd have asked him more questions about this. I really do. Because I've got so many questions that.
If you'd had any idea that you were going to end up with it, you would have.
Oh, that was the furthest. I'd have never dreamed that, ever.
Yeah.
That would have been beyond my wildest imagination.
Well, I was shocked when you told me you were going to go. You were hoping to get it.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked that you even had made that statement. So.
What was funny was when I got it unloaded the next morning, I brought my wife up to look at it, and she goes, "You traded your train for that?" It's like, yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, it's because she doesn't understand what it is.
No, she had no clue. She still says it's a toy. I guess she's right.
She says it's a toy.
Oh, there's a baby dragonfly in here. Oh yeah, these are all toys. It's like, okay. I guess a motorcycle's a toy, a boat's a toy, an airplane's a toy. Look at this little. I got a little baby dragonfly in here. I don't know if you can see him on here. You can't see him. Little baby thing. Little dragonfly nymph. Come here. I want to kill you. Oh, sorry, I smushed him. Sorry.
Well, Bill says you could use an RC airplane controller to work the controls. Yeah, Bill, that could be done, but it would not look good. I mean, because you have to have the servos to work all that stuff, and he'd have to modify it so much to get it to work like that. It could be done, but I don't know that he wants to do. I wouldn't do it.
No,
it would kind of destroy what you got there.
Well, half the fun is running it. Is doing is all that good stuff. You'd miss out on a lot of the fun. You might as well have a battery operated steam engine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which a lot of people do. Actually, that's becoming pretty popular.
Bernard says you'd be surprised in what rivet designs are available now.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, that I'll run across something that will just work, and I'm sure I will.
Yeah. Well, check out Earthcraft Spruce. If he says
God,
they've
we're
got
already
them, they probably do.
Wow.
Because they're a pretty good sized company, from what I understand.
Aircraft Spruce. I have to remember that.
Anyway, I've got to call it a night. I've got to get to bed.
All righty, Shannon.
All righty, Shannon. Well, we're about done here anyway. We've only got about 8 or 9 minutes left.
I'll leave you to try and convince the manager to jump on.
Yeah, well, if he wants to come on, we'd be glad to have him. I
know he's lingering because he keeps messaging me every now and then.
I've been trying to get several vendors, material suppliers to come on, and I can't get them to even answer me back. So I don't know if it's a legal thing they don't want to get into, or I'm assuming that's what it is because it's the same response from everybody. But anyway.
Yep. Anyway, catch us all later.
All righty. Take care, Shannon.
Take care, Shannon. Be safe. I can't believe this. We're almost done again. Holy shoot.
Oh, it doesn't take long to do an hour when you get something interesting. But
anybody got any other questions before we Yeah, Roy says I'm electronically challenged. Yeah, you're right. I am.
He also said Shannon has to go put his hair to bed. That's because he has bedhead all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's check out Aircraft Spruce and some of those others for the rivets. I'm sure you'll find something that will work good on it.
I need to write that down so I can remember it.
Well, you can always ask me what it is. I remember.
Well, that's true. Well, I might want to look it up before.
I used to have the link saved to their site. I don't know if I still do or not.
Aircraft Spruce. Okay.
Most of my links are train stuff now, so.
Okay. Oh yeah.
There's another place that sells screws and stuff that I used all the time that I'll check and see what they've got. I'm not sure if they have rivets, but they might have something like that.
That would make the build on the tent. Yeah.
Looks like they found out why the train was going into emergency brake. They had an air hose issue. Oh, he's talking about the full-size trains. I thought I saw something on that earlier.
What did he say?
I don't know where it's at now. He's up helping the train. Train had a problem. Oh, it went into emergency braking.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Hey, the JT Felt, I think, is the perfect name for that already. Yeah, Tim, that's the plan. On the side of the cab, right underneath the window, John T. Felt.
Oh, and Allie wants to know where the traveling boxcar is. That's a good question, Allie. The N scale.
That's a good question.
The N scale, as far as I know, is still with Ron Marsh, and I've written him twice and have not heard anything back from him. So
that's really strange.
I don't know how else, unless I had the wrong email address, but I took it right off of his site, so I'm assuming it was right. But I haven't heard anything from him, so I don't know where the N scale is. The HO scale, James Galton had it, I think, and was getting ready to send it back to Sparky. I don't know if Sparky's still in here. Are you still in here, Sparky? But that was the last I heard on the HO boxcar. So I'll try and remember to holler at Ron Marsh again on the N-scale boxcar, but I have no idea where it's at.
It's kind of weird that they both disappeared.
Well, the HO didn't. Sparky, do you still have it?
Oh.
I don't know if Sparky still has it. I think he probably does now. But anyway, we'll see if we can't get it straightened out and get them moving on its way. It's been over a year now. It's been out. So we do need to
really
press it along. Oh, James Galton still has it. Okay,
Sparky
James
says that James has it.
Yeah, he was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still here or not. So we'll put the pressure on James. Get it back to Sparky so he can pass it on. Okay, well anyway, we've only got about 3 minutes left. We can go ahead and wrap it up, I guess. Unless anybody else has another question. We will leave it for this week and bid you guys a nice week and a good week, and be careful out there. And thanks for joining us this morning. And we'll see you next week.
Later. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.